So, Anissa, how was your trip to India?
My trip was wonderful. And when I was in India, I used to read the newspapers. So I found interesting articles about conversion. And my question is why Hinduism is opposed to conversion?
Well, Anissa, I don't think Hinduism is opposed to all conversion. Hinduism is or rather, from the point of view of Hinduism, conversion can be of two kinds. One in which the person wants to get converted himself or herself and then approaches the party involved. The other is one in which the other party approaches the Hindu to change his or her religion. Hinduism is not opposed to conversion of the first kind, in which you, on your own, conclude that your spiritual fulfillment will come by being a Jew or a Christian or a Muslim. If, however, the Christians, especially in the Indian case, ask the Hindu to change his religion and put pressure on him, especially, him or her, to do so, then the Hindu would be opposed to that. This latter form of conversion is called proselytization. Hinduism is opposed to proselytization.
So why Hinduism is opposed to proselytization? I wish I could ask this question in Sanskrit, Dr. Sharma.
Well, and I wish I could answer it in Sanskrit too. But since we are at the moment conversing in English, let's stick to proselytization and not dharmantarana. Why is Hinduism opposed to proselytization? Okay. Hinduism would say, one response would be that there are two kinds of conversion. One which you might call vertical conversion, and one which you might call horizontal conversion. Vertical conversion is changing one's life in such a way that one moves from a less wholesome to a more wholesome form of life, to a spiritually less productive or rewarding to a spiritually more rewarding form of life. So that is vertical conversion. Horizontal conversion is when you change your religion or sect, remaining at the same level without any improvement necessarily in the spiritual quality of your life. The metaphor used a lot in Hinduism is of a mountain. It's a mist-shrouded mountain because you do not know what the ultimate reality is. But it's at the peak of the mountain. And the mountain represents a spiritual quest. And there are a number of people who are trying to reach the summit. So they are trying to move up. And those who are changing merely their religion are only begin moving sideways instead of moving vertically upwards. So they are choosing horizontal conversion over vertical conversion. So Hinduism believes in conversion of this first kind, vertical conversion. That is what should really happen in everybody's life. But it is opposed to this horizontal conversion. Horizontal conversion, as you can see from this metaphor, is not productive, quote unquote, in a spiritual sense. So, and that is what, according to Hinduism, proselytization represents. So therefore, Hinduism does not think much of it. That is why it is opposed to proselytization. You could ask, but what if, in order to spiritually advance, one must change one's religion? Now, this advance is essentially an internal process and not an external one. But if one argues that certain external changes are necessary to make internal progress, then I think most Hindus will not come in the way of that person, would allow the person to change the religion. But they want to make sure that this change is brought about for spiritual reasons and leads to spiritual results. And you may wish to ask me on that later as to why must one take a spiritual view of this. But this is the Hindu view. If it is not necessary to change, it is necessary not to change. This would encapsulate the Hindu view. And any change which comes about should be spiritual.
So why do Hindus say that one should be converted for spiritual reasons and not for secular reasons?
Well, that's a good question. One reason is that, as I mentioned earlier, Hinduism looks upon itself as essentially promoting spiritual growth and realization. So it tends to take a spiritual view of things. So it does look upon life as a whole, but it has a spiritual orientation. And the second reason is more modern, that if you live in a secular country, then to convert for secular reasons means that secularism has not taken care of you. What are secular reasons? Because you are not educated, because you don't get medical help, or what else? Because you are poor. All these three are the duties of a secular state to meet. So, on its understanding, secularism means that secular problems are addressed secularly, not religiously. And religious issues are addressed, religious or spiritual issues, then are addressed spiritually or religiously.
So Hindus, they don't like to see people converted. What if I want to convert to Hinduism?
Well, Vanessa, have you tried Christianity?